Howdy everybody. In the glass today is the Dry Fly Special to Barrel for us here at D&M, which is a 8-year-old straight wheat whiskey. That means that it is entirely made from wheat. This is not a wheated bourbon, it is a wheat whiskey. Now the thing about this is that it comes from a single source. It was distilled in Spokane, Washington, or more to the point, I'll say that the grain comes from a single source, as well as was distilled in Spokane, Washington. Now, it was distilled initially at 120 proof, which is 60% alcohol by volume. Now, there in Spokane, over the intervening 8 years, it started off at 120, and when it was bottled for us, it exited the barrel at 143.8% or 143.8 proof, which is 79.1% alcohol by volume. To my recollection, I think this may be the most robust whiskey we have put forth in American for a little bit of time, if not ever. So I kind of wanted to get out the kitchen scale as well as get the array of normal things that you will find in a kitchen to talk about proof. Here I have 1 ounce, which is 31 grams, 1 ounce of whiskey at the full chap of 71.9% alcohol by volume. And I will tell you that right now it's been sitting in the glass for about 30 minutes or so. It is lovely. It has that very fresh threshed wheat, toffee, almost like a chicory and a mint characteristic, but it feels very tightly bound. It feels like there's a lot to come out of it, but it's just a really high concentration right now. As a result, we kind of did a little bit of a proof trial, if you will. So this is at currently 71.9%. What we started off doing was kind of figuring out individually where our happy place is. We all kind of had a different proof happiness as it went. Right now, by adding a half teaspoon, it will drop the alcohol in this to basically 66.14%, if my math is correct, which is not nothing, but it's still a pretty robust whiskey. So at this proof, we did get a little bit more of that sweet wheat character, that kind of barrel, almost a little caramel and spice, and as well as on the palate, there is a little bit more of that maple syrup, roasted coffee bean, almost a little bit of clove and cardamom element as well. Now continuing along, let's go to the full 1 tablespoon, or 1 teaspoon rather, apologies. And the 1 teaspoon, as you can see, it gets up to 1.25 ounces, if not a little bit more if we were just doing it straight up. And at this point in time, this was my personal sweet spot. We are now at about 59.67% alcohol by volume. You get a little bit more of those aromas of sweet barrel, sweet wheat, toffee, as well as that mint starts to come out a little bit more. On the palate, you do get more of those kind of barrel notes, but spice, toffee. That citrus and maple leaf, I think, is further unpacked as you get a little bit more water in this. Now, as I recall from basic cooking, like 3 tablespoons equals a tablespoon, 3 teaspoons equals a tablespoon. So right now we have 1 teaspoon worth in there. And we are now, by doing the equivalent of 1 tablespoon, at a little bit below bonded status. So that we are now in like the 47, 48 range. And you know, here, you very much get that kind of fresh threshed wheat, toffee, chicory. The mint characteristic comes out a little bit more in the nose. On the palate, the wheat kind of very much comes to the fore with that really nice barrel spice, cinnamon, spearmint, almost a little bit of that chicory giving way to licorice tone. Now, the reason why we did this is you've seen me taste multiple things. I poured 1 ounce in the glass. I've tried it 3 or 4 different times now. And we have 1 ounce of liquid. This particular barrel, I would recommend thinking of it like a concentrate. If you want to go with that softer characteristic that I just talked about, pour yourself an ounce and add 1 full tablespoon to get it down to just below 50% alcohol by volume. If you really enjoy those cask strength offerings, but you don't want it to have it that full chap, I would recommend starting off with a half a teaspoon. My personal happiness was 1 full teaspoon. And know that, everyone is a little bit different. But again, this is a concentrate, and when you add water, you really bring out the aromas. You allow the spirit to unpack itself. I think this is a quite fun barrel, highly unique, and it's an 8-year-old wheated whiskey, or an 8-year-old wheat whiskey, which we have not had it gracing our shelves for quite some time. I'm enjoying it. I hope you do too. Cheers, stay safe, and be well.